Hello, welcome to our lesson on percent to fraction with Simplify Academy. Today we are going to talk about converting a percent into a fraction and then simplifying those fractions to lowest terms. You always simplify fractions to lowest terms, so let's get started. First off, a percent to a fraction is actually one of the easiest things that we can do with these conversions between percent, fraction, and decimal. Percent literally means out of 100. So 23% means 23 out of 100. That's it. Every time you're given a percent, you just put it over 100, simplify if needed, and then you're done. So again, pretty straightforward. It means exactly a fraction. So let's try out with 47%. Try and write 47% as a fraction. 3, 2, 1, go. 47%, 47 over 100. There's no common factors, so you're done. Now I picked two numbers that had no common factors with 100. And I did that to make the first two kind of easy. Now, from now on, you will probably have some common factors with 100. 100 has a lot of factors. So in most cases, you will need to simplify the fraction into lowest terms, as in this example. Here we go. This is my example. Write 20% as a fraction. 20% means 20 over 100. When I go through the worksheet questions, I'm going to list all of the factors and find the greatest common factor and do all of that stuff. For this lesson, because I'm focusing on changing a percent into a fraction, I'm just going to give you the greatest common factor for the lesson. But for the worksheets, again, I will go over each question and show all of the factors and identify the greatest common factor. But to save time in the lesson, our greatest common factor in this case is 20. So we divide the top and bottom by 20 to get our fraction in simplest form, which is 1/5. I'd like you to try it out. Change this percent into a fraction. We have 15%. I want you to write that as a fraction and simplify it into lowest terms. 3, 2, 1, pause and practice. Welcome back. 15% is 15 over 100. Our greatest common factor is 5, so this simplifies down to 3 over 20. All right? And that's how you do it. That's how you change a percent into a fraction. Now, there are some tricky ones. What if the number is larger than 100? For example, 124% as a fraction. Well, it's not going to be a problem because you literally do exactly the same thing. Let me show you. If I have 124%, I would write it as a fraction of 124 over 100. I would leave it as an improper fraction. That means a larger number on the top than on the bottom. I just leave it that way and solve it. Now, I will need to simplify. And in this case, the greatest common factor is 4. So it simplifies down to 31 over 25. I just wanted to show you that one. It may take a little bit more time to list all of the factors of 124 and 100. So I do have a shortcut for you that can help in a lot of cases. And that's to take smaller bites. Let me show you an example. If I'm given 420% and asked to write it as a fraction, I would start off with 420% is 420 over 100. Now, instead of listing all the factors of 420 and all the factors of 100, I can look and pick out one pretty big factor. In this case, 10. I know they both are divisible by 10 because they both end in a 0. So I'm going to divide them by 10 to get 42 over 10. Do you see that? I just took a common factor. It wasn't the greatest common factor, but now I'm dealing with the numbers 42 and 10, not the numbers 420 and 100. So now I can simplify down because I know the factors of 42 and 10. I know my greatest common factor is 2, and so it simplifies down to 21 over 5. I might not have been able to pick out the greatest common factor of 20 when I first started this. Okay, so when you're given those larger numbers, it's sometimes helpful to factor out some common factors that you notice that are pretty obvious. All right. We also have small numbers. So there's the one end of the spectrum where you have these really big numbers and you're asked to take bite-sized pieces of them. We're also given really small numbers, which sometimes throws people off, so I wanted to do a practice question. I want you to try this 2% as a fraction. Try pausing and practice with that one. Go. Here we go. I have 2%. That would be 2 over 100. My greatest common factor is the 2. So this will simplify down to being 1 over 50. Okay? It sometimes seems challenging when you throw in a small number like that, but you're following exactly the same steps, so it should work out. You will have questions like this on your worksheet and on the quiz. All right, now here's a tough one. I want you to try this one out. I want you to write 17% as a fraction. Go ahead and try that one out. All right, did you realize that maybe it wasn't quite as tough? Maybe, I don't know. And maybe it stumped you because there were no common factors. There's no common factors between 17 and 100. And that means that they are what we call relatively prime, or they have no common factors between them, which means this is already in simplest form. So you can't simplify it any further. Just like the first two examples, we kind of come full circle to this example here. No common factors, it's already simplified. All right, a couple things to remember. Percent means out of 100. Remember to simplify fractions and, of course, add in a third box that is completely unnecessary just because it looks better with 3 boxes. All right, I hope you guys had a good time with today's lesson. Have a wonderful day.